12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. It is July 2nd, and we are counting down the days till the 4th of July holiday, Patty.
Just about there. It came by really quickly, probably because what?
Okay, favorite 4th of July food? Do you have one?
It's got to be the hot dogs.
Thank you. I love it. Yes, hot dogs, hamburgers, can't go wrong with that.
Yes.
Yeah,
especially
maybe potato salad, macaroni and cheese.
Oh my gosh. Okay, he was talking about tacos earlier. Now
you know what?
he's talking about.
I had like some trail mix in between the shows.
What a sad story here, Justin.
I know we never got tacos. I'm pretty sure you promised it. Like at what was it, around 6:37 this morning? I think is when I took notes.
He forgot.
Peer pressure over here.
Conveniently forgot.
Yeah.
Yes, July 4th is around the corner. It looks pretty good, guys, as far as forecast is concerned. Fireworks should be fine. We are going to see temperatures right around 100. That's going to be the standard next few days. So let's go outside for you right now. We've got partly cloudy skies, 82 degrees at the airport, 83 in New Braunfels, 82 in Converse, 70s for Bernie and Kerrville. Light winds, and these temperatures are already starting to warm up. So here pretty soon, we're going to be in the 90s. I think that by 1 o'clock, we're at 94. It'll feel like 100 at that point. And then 103 by 4 p.m. Our high temperature today is right around 100. And there's the extended forecast. What we're looking at in the long term is temperatures warm for 4th of July. But notice what we're looking at over the weekend. A chance of some rain. We're going to get a weak frontal boundary. And we're going to talk about what's going on with Beryl. It's a Category 5 storm, but it is working in our direction towards the Gulf of Mexico. And there are a few changes to the forecast. We're going to talk all about it for you coming up in just a couple minutes, guys.
Yeah, Justin, I know Beryl is keeping y'all busy over there in the weather department. All right, quick check of our traffic, and things looking pretty good out there. 37 Fair Avenue on the southeast side. We have traffic moving along north and southbound lanes right there. The only thing that we're seeing is going to be a stalled vehicle at Loop 1604 northbound at 90. So it's going to be on the far west side of town, even a little bit further west than that camera right there at 151 and 410. But everything else, Patty, is looking pretty good for your Tuesday morning if you're about to step outside right now.
It looks like people are taking the whole week as a holiday because traffic never looks like this.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
I'll be here all week, so no worries.
Same here.
Yeah. Here's today's 9 at 9.
The cause of the fire at the original Buc-ee's location in Luling is still under investigation. The fire happened around 10 a.m. yesterday and took about 2 hours to be extinguished. The building was already being demolished since the new Buc-ee's was built on the property next door last month. That building was not affected by that fire.
The former site of the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs is set to be demolished. It was the scene of a horrific mass shooting that happened in 2017 and has been set up as a memorial to those killed. While we don't know exactly what day the demolition will happen, church members were told the sanctuary would be open today for final visits.
Multiple criminal cases that former President Donald Trump faces are now up in the air after the Supreme Court ruled that Trump could be granted broad immunity from prosecution. As Trump celebrates, President Biden is condemning the decision, saying it encourages Trump to do whatever he wants, especially if he regains power.
Trump's lawyers want to challenge his conviction in the hush money trial now that the Supreme Court has issued its ruling on presidential immunity. Sources say a letter filed with New York Judge Juan Merchant seeks permission to file a motion to challenge the verdict. If Merchant allows Trump to file the motion, it could delay the former president's sentencing set for next week.
Beryl is now a Category 5 hurricane. It's the earliest of that strength on record in the Atlantic Ocean. For now, its eye is in fairly open waters of the Caribbean Sea. It's expected to impact Haiti and the Dominican Republic beginning today and could eventually hit Mexico.
More Democrats are questioning whether President Biden needs to be replaced as the party's nominee after his debate performance last week. Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse is seeking reassurance that the Biden campaign is being forthcoming about the president's mental well-being. The campaign is trying to shut down any talk of the president dropping out, saying that would lead to chaos.
The Supreme Court has declined to hear a case about laws in Texas and Florida meant to protect conservative viewpoints on social media. Those laws were blocked by lower court decisions and will remain blocked for now. This also delays a final ruling on the constitutionality of states' laws preventing online platforms from moderating their own websites.
Facebook and Instagram's parent company, Meta, is updating its Made with AI labels. The wording is changing to AI info. The change comes after photographers complained that Meta was mistakenly flagging non-AI generated content. Meta says the old labels didn't always provide enough context.
And finally, Apple is adding more items to its list of vintage products. The iPhone X, the first generation HomePod, and the first generation AirPods have been reclassified as vintage. They were released in 2017 and 2016. Products are considered vintage when Apple stopped distributing them for sale between 5 and 7 years ago. And that's today's 9 at 9.
All right, now to a story that's gotten a lot of people's attention. A local woman says it was part instinct and part divine intervention that led her to 3 kids sweating alone in a hot car.
And this is some of that video that you're seeing right here, Patty. That woman recorded the rescue on her phone, and this video right here that we just saw has gone viral. She spoke with our Katrina Weber and says that she actually has sympathy for the children's mother, who is now facing criminal charges.
Chances are you've seen it on social media. Video of a crying boy who San Antonio police say was left with his 2 siblings in a hot car Friday afternoon.
He was sweating profusely. The little girl, to me, she looked like she was in shock.
This woman who wanted to hide her face saw it in real life and led the rescue of the children between 1 month and 4 years old. She had just left her own car in this parking lot near Highway 281 in Thousand Oaks when she noticed the boy in the front seat with no adults around.
I kind of did like a double take and I said, no, I'm going to listen to my instincts and I'm going to see what's going on.
After calling 911, she started recording this video, which has since gone viral. She and others got the children out through an unlocked door. The high temperature Friday was in the triple digits. Inside the car, it was likely sweltering. It's a nice, bright, sunny day, about 93 degrees outside. We're going to put this into the car for about 50 minutes, the time the children were left alone, and see just how hot it gets. Okay, 50 minutes have gone by. We're going to check the temperature here. You can see that it's already 100 degrees. In this case, the children were not seriously hurt, but their mother, 33-year-old Angela Garza Amador, is facing serious charges. She was arrested when she showed up at the scene.
I'm just glad that I was there at the right time. I feel like it was God sent.
She says she hopes others will learn from this, not to take this kind of risk with the lives of children. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Now, after that news of that scary incident, San Antonio police, along with Metro Health, are using it to get our community to pay attention. Police held a hot car temperature demonstration to show us what can happen when a child is stuck in a car and what you should do if you run into a similar situation.
Eventually what will probably happen is heat stroke. And with that, it's just your body temperature just gets so high that your internal organs stop to function, right? So your heart rate's going to go up, your kidneys could fail, you could be unconscious, and then eventually it could lead to death.
Call 911 right away, but see if the doors are unlocked, see if you can open the door. If you have to take further action, go ahead and do so. Like I said, we have laws in place that are going to protect you.
And you can watch the full story right now on our KSAT streaming platforms.
Yeah, very scary situation there. And thankfully that passerby was able to notify officials and help those kids get safe.
Always got to pay attention to what's going on around us.
Absolutely, Patty. Yeah. All right. 9:06 right now and 80 degrees outside.
It's still ahead on GMSA at 9. We're talking about Chris Paul coming to the San Antonio Spurs. And RJ will share what he thinks is going to be able to help the Spurs this next NBA season.
But before that, how much do you think an average person will spend on fireworks? Okay, this is pretty surprising here. The answer is anywhere from $100 to thousands of dollars. Yes, pretty interesting. We'll take you to a warehouse in the county to see what's hot this year, coming up after the break.
It's 4th of July week. That means it's time to set off some booms. We are here with Shailene Salazar at Mr. W Fireworks on the southeast side of the county. Talk to me about what's hot this year.
Have been everything from the smaller pop rocks that are more adult friendly too. So if you don't want to actually set anything off, you want to stay more in the ground, that's something fun you can throw around. We also have these great family bundles. That way you have some fountains, you have some Saturn missiles, as well as firecrackers and some small artillery shells as well.
What's the price range we're looking at here?
So these are around $4. The big bundle pack is $180, but it does come with a lot of different items, so it groups it down and really saves yourself some money on those. This is one you can do. It'll have multiple breaks, so you can have a lot of different explosions and spread them out throughout the night rather than setting off one and it going out in like 2 minutes to 3 minutes. We also have things for the kiddos, more of the ground show, so if you don't want it to explode and go into the air, these stay more towards the ground. We'll do the beautiful colors, showers, crackling, a lot of gold and sparkling on this one.
Okay, and that's about $34. That's my price range right there.
So this one lasts 2 minutes. You'll set it off, face it towards where your family members are, and then you just actually get to watch it do everything by itself, so you don't have to reload on this one, but it is a one light and you get the 2 minute long. And those are for $99.
It does a good job. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you seeing that prices are staying the same, that their prices have gone up?
Ever since COVID, we did see a price jump. But since then, I'm happy to say everything has stayed. Besides a couple products I've seen went up $1, but I've actually seen some of my prices drop this year.
What's the most that you've seen people come in and buy here?
An average is about 100. I've seen the most was last year. They bought a whole bunch of, it was a group that came in, so it was a lot of people's money thrown together. That was a $1,500 charge.
Let's talk about this scan app, because a lot of times you're buying these things and you don't know what the show's going to look like, right? But this is great.
So I like to put these up and around. I have some circles right now of the products I have in stock. I have some more coming in. You're actually able to pull up your smartphone and the camera, and when you bring it up, it'll bring you to the exact video of what you're buying.
And of course, we always want to remind people to know what their city ordinances are when it comes to setting off fireworks.
Yes, and we also like to put some free samples of the fire safety packets in all the bags. That way y'all know how to dispose of them, make sure they're not going to get relit, and just the proper care all around and usage of them.
And right now on KSAT.com, we have instructions on how to properly dispose of fireworks. The Beryl County Fire Marshal advises residents to designate a dowser. A designated dowser would be an adult in charge of overseeing the proper dowsing of spent fireworks. The dowser will help avoid potential flames coming out of the trash bin, as well as when done popping fireworks. You can check out this story on KSAT.com.
Yeah, of course. Always want to practice safety as we take a look at live cam right now, and beautiful skies out there. Obviously, it's a little bit warm, but not the case in the tropics, huh, Justin? It is. It's coming at people pretty strong.
Well, yeah, the Beryl is setting records left and right. I think that's what's so crazy about it. It's a Category 5 storm, but it's the earliest Category 5 storm on record by a large margin, and this thing just keeps barreling right along, no pun intended, and it looks like we may have some more activity behind that, so it's just pretty incredible. This is a satellite picture from NASA showing Beryl. You can kind of see just the breadth of the storm and just how picturesque from space it is, but this is the kind of damage it can do. This was in the Caribbean yesterday. Some of those islands just taking on a massive amount of water with the storm surge and those strong winds. That was out of Barbados. And then you see some of the damage there. So not a good situation. There's going to be a lot of cleanup for those islands. And next in line, unfortunately, it looks like to see some damage. It may be Jamaica. Here's the latest to the tropical satellite. And what you're looking at here is a hurricane hunter is actually flying into this storm, which is incredible, I know. They do this so that we can get better data. The better data that we have with these hurricanes, the better we are forecasting where it's headed and what's going to happen next. So this is an important process. And yes, it is a little bumpy as they go through here and drop those radiosondes and you get the data back. And that's what they're doing right now. We saw some wind gusts from their data, 170 plus, okay? So we know this is a massive, powerful storm. So right now, Category 5 storm, this is the 7 a.m. update. We'll get another update here shortly. But winds at 165 miles per hour. so strong. The good news here is that it will start to decrease in intensity as it heads towards Jamaica. With that said, still a major hurricane as it brushes by Jamaica, winds probably 110 miles per hour. Then this works towards Cancun and Cozumel, Yucatan Peninsula, probably is a Category 1 hurricane. It's taking on wind shear at this point, which tends to weaken these storms. But we know the waters are warm, so they'll kind of be balancing, those things will balance each other out. As it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, it crosses overland, probably weakening to a tropical storm. At this point, we're talking winds of 65 miles per hour, and it's probably going to look pretty messy on the satellite picture. But where does it go from there? Well, that's the next big question. And with high pressure moving far enough east, you start to get the flow around this, and it could actually steer this a little bit further north into South Texas. A possibility, but just one of many possibilities. Here are the questions I think we have to answer. Where is the exact location of the storm once it enters into the Gulf of Mexico? What state is it in? Is it completely sheared apart? Is it falling apart? And high pressure. Where does it end up and how strong will it be? These are all things we're looking at. But if you look at the latest computer models, it does show that maybe some of this moisture does eventually work its way up into our neck of the woods. Could be a good thing for us. As long as it stays weak and we just get some of that tropical moisture, could mean some downpours. Just a little too early to tell just yet. We'll certainly be watching it model by model run. We'll be following the latest. 20% chance of rain as it stands right now, Saturday, Sunday. That's due mainly to a weak frontal boundary. And then we'll keep some rain chances in Monday to account for any tropical moisture that does make its way up into South Texas. Want to talk about the rivers very quickly. A lot of people are going to be headed to the rivers for 4th of July. I got to tell you, it's not a great situation. The Guadalupe and the Comal are flowing very, very slowly at this point, just because of the drought situation that we've been in. Just know it's going to move slow. There's still water there. You can still go float the river, have fun. You're just not going to be moving very fast. As far as the Frio is concerned, not a lot of flow there. It doesn't mean there's not water in the river, but it's just not flowing. Frio's in sort of worse shape there. Let's go outside. 82 San Antonio, 83 New Braunfels, 82 in Converse, 70 still for Bernie and Kerrville. That changes shortly. We'll see those temperatures really ramp up pretty quickly today. 94 at 1 o'clock, 100 is our high. It feels like anywhere from 100 to 105 during that time period. And expect temperatures to be right around 100 in many spots, and that leads to heat indices 100 to 105 plus. Across especially our eastern counties, where places like Gonzales can get up to 107 for that feels like temperature today. Extended forecast, we're going to be right around 100 next several days, and we just jumped right past the 7-day there. Let's try it again. Next several days will be right around 100. We do cool down temperatures a little bit by the weekend when we add in some of those rain chances and add in some cloud cover as well.
All right.
Thank you very much, Justin. Yeah, we will continue to monitor that. And we have some breaking news right now. We're just getting information right now at KSAT 12 about a shooting, Patty, in northeast Bexar County.
Yes, 6,000 block of Wood Lake Parkway. That is near Old Seguin Road and Lakeview Drive. Katrina Weber is live out there, and she'll be having an update for you hopefully soon.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit more details coming up in just a bit.
takes 2,100 gallons of water to make just one pair of jeans, and 700 gallons of water to make one cotton t-shirt. According to research by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, textile manufacturing produces more emissions than all international flights and shipping combined, and is responsible for more than 20% of wastewater produced globally. More items in the landfills means more greenhouse gases released, which contributes to global warming and climate change. It's why thrifting and shopping gently used doesn't just save you money, it's saving our planet.
I think a lot of people are shopping a little bit differently nowadays. So they're shopping eco-conscious and budget-conscious, and you can do both here at Goodwill.
Goodwill recovered 4.3 billion products across the globe in 2023.
In San Antonio's 24 Goodwill stores, 1 million items were donated.
In 2023, Goodwill repurposed 22.7 million items globally.
And locally, 1.3 million pounds of hazardous electronic equipment was responsibly recycled. So you can do your part by donating gently used items to your nearest Goodwill donation station and by shopping at your local Goodwill store. Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Sarah looked like she did a little bit of damage in there too. Maybe came back with a hat there. All right, now to a story that has continued to impact a lot of people around the San Antonio area, and that being the data hack at Central Med. It's been 2 months since that hack, and patients are still calling KSAT for help, asking how long they have to wait until they are able to get access to their own records.
The clinic says their patient records were hacked in April. The personal information of 400,000 current and former patients are at risk. Patients tell John Paul Barajas they're still struggling to do everything to find from records to referrals.
I expressed my need for the referral, that I needed it to see my cardiologist.
It's a need that Michael Fraunfelter says is yet to be fulfilled. He's one of several Central Med patients we've heard from since the clinic's servers were hacked on April 30th. Their complaints have included difficulty scheduling appointments, getting referrals.
Because I don't know what this is going to mean for me, right? If I don't see my cardiologist, it might be bad. I might be okay. I just don't know.
Not having access to medical records.
We don't have that. You're going to be coming in as a new information, as a new patient. And I said, a new patient, but I've been coming here since 2021.
As well as trouble filling necessary prescriptions.
My wife tried to call to get a couple scripts refilled. She couldn't.
Give me a referral for my prescriptions because my blood pressure is high, and it's been high since February. And I don't want to have an episode where I'm back in the hospital or I'm with my kids and something happens to me, all because y'all can't get y'all together.
I spoke to a Central Med Vice President on May 24th. At the time, Ana Maria Garza Cortez said her staff hoped to regain access to their files the following week.
There's different steps that are happening to make sure that this incident doesn't happen again at Central Med.
Given that you had 2 massive incidents in June of 2023, 350,000 patients were notified. Now we have 400,000 in less than a year's time. How do you make that promise after this?
It is a difficult time frame with our society, and we know that we're not unique to this situation.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
And we, of course, are still trying to get answers to all this. As you saw right there, John Paul has emailed Central Med 9 times since that May 24th report, and he's also called their office, more than once.
The company has been very tight-lipped about what's being done to fix this problem. On June 12th, Central Med leadership said they, quote, stood behind their initial statement, a data security update that was posted on May 17th, which is still on the top of their website. It refers patients to a toll-free call center. That number is 888-990-8424. But for the patients we spoke to, that's just not good enough.
Yeah, so definitely we will continue to try and get answers. John Paul, I know, is on this and bring you the latest when we get more information. For now, it is 9:26 and 82 degrees outside. There's still a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including new details on the effects of the pandemic, lockdowns on the youngest of children. When we come back, the areas where kids are falling behind in the most, and what parents can do about it now.
Plus, we are still talking about Chris Paul coming to the Spurs. Yes, CP3 to the 2-1-0. We're going to talk about this coming up here in just a little bit.
Welcome back. Taking a live look outside with our live cam. 82 degrees out there right now, but it's expected to reach 100. So you better get that sunblock and that water ready for today.
Hydrate, yes.
Hydrate. Hey, you may be wondering, with all the tropical weather that we've got going on, is it okay to go to the beach for July 4th? Yes, the forecast looks okay. If you're heading down to Port A, Rockport, Corpus Christi, Wednesday into Thursday, temperatures will be in the low 90s. Water temperatures are hot. 88 to 90. I mean, that is well above average, and that's one of the reasons we're worried about what happens with Beryl when she reaches the Gulf of Mexico. Again, still in question where it will head from there. But in the meantime, Wednesday into Thursday, all looks well if you're headed down to the coast. Forecast here locally today, 91 noontime, and then we get into the 100s by this afternoon. Feels like numbers will be close to 105 from time to time with humidity in place. And then mostly sunny skies and mostly clear evening, 95 at 8 p.m. Not a bad evening around here. We got to talk about the dust really quick. It is there. It's starting to dissipate a little bit. We've mentioned this last couple of days. We've had that plume of Saharan dust coming through in the upper part of the atmosphere. Doesn't have a whole lot of effect on us down here, but we are noticing a little bit of haze in the sky. I think we get a bit of a break, and then we're going to get another plume that comes in Friday into Saturday with some more hazy skies. Guys.
All right, thanks, Justin. We want to get you to some breaking news. There is a shooting right now in the northeast Bexar County, the 6,000 block of Wood Lake Parkway that is near Old Seguin Road and Lakeview Drive.
Yeah, you see the map right there in the northeast part of our county right now. Bexar County Sheriff's officials are out there along with our Katrina Weber, who is live with the very latest. Katrina, what can you tell us?
Well, not much at this point. There was a woman who was shot in one of the apartments here at the Woodlake Villas. We have detectives here. We understand homicide detectives here who are taking part in this investigation. But the woman is at the hospital. That's the last word we had, in critical condition. Now, deputies or the sheriff's office tells us that they got a call from a man earlier this morning who said that he had shot his wife in self-defense. There was a child, a little girl, in the apartment with them at the time. The man then somehow ended up at a gas station just down the street, and deputies were able to detain him there. They did refer to him as a suspect in this case, but they have not said yet exactly what went on here to lead to the shooting. Again, the man says it was in self-defense, but we do have detectives here now looking into his claims and trying to collect evidence to see if what he told them matches up with what is here at the scene. But again, the woman who was shot is now in critical condition at the hospital. Reporting live in Northeast Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. And we've known for quite a while that the COVID pandemic has had a lasting impact on children and their academic performance. But this morning, there are new details on the effect of the pandemic lockdowns on the youngest of children who are now falling behind. ABC's Lionel Moisey has a story.
This morning, experts are citing new data showing the pandemic has hindered the learning and development of the youngest Americans. The New York Times reviewed several studies and interviewed teachers who say young children are now far behind in some of the most critical areas.
So holding a pencil correctly, opening your milk, right, when you go through the lunch line, tying your shoes. Those used to be expectations for kindergarten that teachers you didn't have to help with, and they're doing a lot more of that.
Many are entering school lagging in the basics, like being able to identify shapes and letters or being potty trained. And another concern, social skills, with pandemic-era babies now often struggling to solve problems with peers, communicate needs, or manage emotions. COVID lockdowns meant kids spent more time on screens and lost critical play and imagination time, which is how they learn.
That meant disrupting social interactions, which we know are the foundation of brain development for little kids. So much brain growth happens in the first 4 years, particularly in the first 2 years. And we basically said, put on a mask, stay away from grown-ups, don't talk to other kids.
Researchers say Black and Hispanic children were left most behind, and boys were more affected than girls. The good news, young children are resilient.
So can you talk to me about the positives of realizing that there's an issue now and knowing that there are ways to intervene, and what are some of those interventions that can be done?
It's rich environments with lots of language, the back and forth where a child says something and a parent or a caregiver responds. That's how brains learn. High quality early childhood education.
Dr. Peterson also noted early intervention and working with teachers and your pediatrician on an individualized plan for your child can help them get on track. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Well, now to the big Spurs news, and it's been a busy 48 hours for our silver and black. Chris Paul, CP3, is headed to the 210, and yes, that definitely has a nice ring to it. ESPN reports that Chris Paul has signed a one-year deal worth $11 million to go ahead and suit up with Wemby and Pop. So let's look at some of his accolades right here. A 12-time All-Star, yes, 11-time All-NBA player, 9-time All-Defensive Team, 5 times he's led the NBA in assists, and of course, Chris Paul will be a future Hall of Famer. So he's going to be an on-the-court coach. For sure, he's going to help Wemby in several different ways. So how does he help the other Spurs? Well, here we go. Of course, the biggest thing, get Wemby the ball. That's all we wanted to see last year. Get Wemby the ball and help him take the next level here, become an all-star next season. I think Chris Paul definitely does that. He's also going to add veteran leadership to the rest of this young roster, and a roster that's averaging about 23, 24 years old. And he will also mentor Stefan Castle in his rookie season. So interesting note, CP3 is entering his 20th season. Castle is only 19 years old, so we will definitely take that. He'll also help Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan become better playmakers and shot creators. So good stuff there. I think this is a win all the way around. So CP3 is 39 years old, but he should be fresh coming to the Alamo City. He played in only 58 games last season and averaged 9.2 points and nearly 7 assists. And this was off the bench for the Golden State Warriors, who have a guy named Steph Curry. So Chris Paul was not getting that much playing time there. But this move likely takes the Spurs out of the mix for any sort of Trae Young trade. So I know a lot of people were excited maybe about Trae Young coming to San Antonio, but I don't believe that they're in the mix for that anymore. But there are reports that the Spurs could be in the mix for all-star big man Lauri Markkanen out of Utah. That remains to be seen if the Spurs can maybe put together a package for that. But as we mentioned, Chris Paul ready to sign with the San Antonio Spurs. That deal will get done later on this weekend as we continue with free agency. So it is exciting times around the silver and black and the San Antonio Spurs. And Patty, CP3 to the 210. I think we need to trademark that now.
I could see, hopefully one of our viewers makes you one of those shirts there.
Yes, let's do that. That would be awesome. I would totally wear that shirt on air if we had a CP3 to the 210 shirt. Yeah, so a challenge for our viewers out there. But I think this is going to be an exciting moment for San Antonio. It's going to be a fun season. Wemby, year 2 with Chris Paul now on the floor with him. Basically, again, a on-the-floor coach and also someone that could help the coaching staff as well. It should be a lot of good times out there.
He's got 1 year to make it happen.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thanks, RJ. All right, so why is squatting such a challenging issue to deal with? You might have seen recent social media videos about this topic. Well, it's been blowing up online. So that's why in the new KSAT Explains episode, we look at what laws exist in Texas when it comes to squatting and why it's such a challenge for law enforcement to deal with.
He had called me frantically complaining about how his electric bill quadrupled.
And KSAT Explains squatting is available to watch online right now on KSAT.com, KSAT's YouTube channel, or KSAT Plus. Time right now, 9:39, 83 degrees out there. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Man, that Chris Paul stuff got me a little worked up there.
A little water for you. Hydrate.
Yeah, definitely not. Hydrating out here.
A local theater is putting on the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and we go to backstage to get a closer look at the play. We'll have that story coming up in a few minutes.
Welcome back to GMSA at 9. Hopefully you guys are having a good Tuesday morning. While cities around the country got the go-ahead to continue to ban homeless camps, including right here in San Antonio.
The Supreme Court ruled last week that laws in an Oregon town that ban camping or even sleeping in public with as little as a rolled up shirt did not constitute cruel and unusual punishment.
So our Garrett Berger talked with local homeless organizations about what exactly that means here in the Alamo City.
The nearly 3,400 people in Bexar County experiencing homelessness in the last point-in-time count, almost 900 were unsheltered, meaning they're staying on the streets or maybe a car. But the head of the group that did that count says the Supreme Court decision won't change much for them.
But we've already discussed with the city of San Antonio, our partners, legal advice from our board members, and there will be no changes to how we address homelessness in San Antonio.
Well, Mayor Ron Nirenberg posted last week that the court's decision paves the way to criminalize homelessness. San Antonio has already banned camping in public spaces since 2005. The state added its own ban in 2021, both of which allow fines of up to $500. But Wilson says that hasn't been San Antonio's primary approach to tackling homelessness.
Up to this point, our chief of police, our mayor, I think there's been strong support to focus on therapeutic approaches, to focus on housing people, providing supportive services.
A spokeswoman for Haven for Hope says when someone they're working with has such a citation, they try to get them into a specialty community court docket.
Somebody is getting a fine for public camping, but they don't have the means to pay the fine. It can create more barriers for them to get housing and or employment.
But the city has also ramped up its efforts to do homeless camp cleanups, which it calls abatements. And though the city offers services to the people in those camps, Wilson says that even with recent efforts to add space, there's not enough housing and shelter capacity for everyone.
Criminalizing homelessness would not be helpful. And if anything, it would put strains on other systems like our criminal justice systems.
San Antonians have listed the camp cleanups amongst their top budget priorities for the city 2 years running now. That resulted in extra funding this year. We'll see what it can mean for next year when the draft budget is presented in August. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Justin, it is so incredibly hot out there. It can be dangerous for a lot of folks that are out there and don't have a place to go.
It's true. This is that time of year where you have to really think about all those folks that are homeless or maybe working outside. All those kind of things. With these temperatures the way they are, we're expecting to be up around 100 today, and we're going to go through a pretty good stretch here where we're going to be above average heat index values, 100 plus. So let's look at the highs across the state. There could be some records even broken today, not here locally, but up across the Texas Panhandle. Would not be surprised to see a few records fall. 100 is what we're forecasting here in San Antonio, and most of the state is going to be dealing with triple-digit heat. Even if the air temperature is not there, the heat index certainly will be. The other big issue we're dealing with, of course, is drought. We've had some rain here and there. Hasn't been a bad last couple of months when it comes to rainfall. But the drought monitor shows that we still have been hit pretty hard by drought here. This area of drought across the hill country has been there for the better part of 2 to 3 years now. Del Rio, same story. We just can't seem to quite get out of it. We've had enough rain to kind of keep it from getting worse, but we really need a good soaking rain to get out of this drought and get some of our reservoirs filled up. You look at Canyon Lake, 56.3%. That is a record low, continues to fall. Medina, there's hardly anything there. 2.3%. Choca's at 21.7%. Amistad, not good, 24.2%. And then you get into more of the steady level lakes that are doing okay. But bottom line, more rain would be good. We do have some chances headed our way Saturday into Sunday. Small chances. And I think that's mainly due to a weak frontal boundary that will get close to us. That could spark off a shower or two. And then on Monday, we're going to leave in some rain chances to account for any tropical moisture that could work in our direction. That's also a possibility because of Hurricane Beryl. We've been showing you that throughout the morning that the hurricane hunters are flying through this. And by the way, this crisscross action, this is what they do. You kind of see them crisscross across this whole system, and they'll be getting data from each part of the hurricane. Again, that improves our forecasting. The more data they get, the better off we are figuring out what this is going to do. But pretty incredible that they are literally flying through the eye right now across Hurricane Beryl. I will tell you, the look at the satellite picture, this does not look as impressive as it once did, and I think that's because it's starting to encounter some wind shear. So we just got the 10 a.m. update, just came in. Winds are at 160 miles per hour, so that's down just a little bit. I think we're going to start to see this decrease some. Even as it makes it towards Jamaica on Wednesday, though, still a Category 3 hurricane, still a major hurricane. And this will eventually work towards the Yucatan, probably weakening to a Category 1 hurricane, and then eventually a tropical storm. And this is the new updated path, which, by the way, the margin is still huge. We're talking about hundreds of miles here about where this could go. But we do think maybe it tries to take a little bit of a northern turn. If it did, we could benefit from some moisture here. We want it to stay weak, but if it were and some of that tropical moisture moved up in South Texas, that would be a good thing. The spaghetti plots show that, yes, maybe we do get that northern turn right there at the end into Texas. We'll see. We still got to watch this a little bit longer. 99 Wednesday, 99 Thursday, 99 Friday, and there are those rain chances we talked about with added cloud cover and that potential for some moisture that should keep temperatures down just a little bit in the mid-90s.
Very cool.
Yeah, seeing the Medina Lake levels, that is brutal. That's tough. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's been too long. It's been too long that
absolutely.
we've been here.
Justin, are you a Willy Wonka guy?
Wasn't ready for that question. Sure.
Well, check this out then. Well, a new play is putting the wonder in Wonder Theater over on the city's northwest side.
KSAT 12 producer Andrew Wilson shows us a land of pure imagination with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
This is a story about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And Charlie is a little boy that is trying to celebrate all things chocolate and candy and look for an opportunity to win a grand tour of the Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory.
This version utilizes a lot of the songs from the original Gene Wilder film, but then also puts its own spin, especially with the Oompa Loompa songs. There are new songs that are written for all of the children. This show was presented on the West End first over in London, and then was brought to Broadway, has been on tour, and each version has been a little bit different. And so what audiences are gonna see when they come and see our show is something that's a little different from the original films that they may have seen, but definitely still has the energy and the life and the primary plot of the original films.
Because there's a lot of fun musical numbers that have a lot of zany things that occur during the course of them. And I've really enjoyed watching the production team and the creative team really bring this stuff to life.
Well, now you have to be a Wonka guy.
Now I do.
Seeing that, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Time right now, 9:51, 83 degrees out there.
It is always a great day to go to the San Antonio Zoo as we're taking a look at the flamingos out there at the zoo this morning.
There's a lot of them out there this morning, and they're not even in the water.
Sunbathing, yeah. Maybe get a little drink of water out there at the San Antonio Zoo. Good times out there. We'll be back. You know, we got Justin on the Willy Wonka beat. Maybe he's going to
He's here for the
some
entertainment.
movies.
I didn't want to leave.
Hollywood. It has saved some of its potentially biggest hits of the year for release this month.
CNN's Rick Damigella has a preview of what's coming to theaters this month.
You will be the first to test our super serum, designed to transform you into cutting-edge agents. Or you might just explode.
The Minions power up in Despicable Me 4. Hide the bananas when the latest installment of the animated franchise flies into theaters tomorrow.
NASA needs a marketing specialist, and you are the very best.
Excuse me? What are you doing here?
I tracked you down because I felt we had a connection.
What?
I'm joking. I work here now.
Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum star in a rom-com set against the backdrop of the moon landing. The out-of-this-world love story Fly Me to the Moon blasts off July 12th.
Holy.
You ever see anything like this?
Not like this.
Hold on.
A new generation of storm chasers take on tornadoes in Twisters. The sequel to Jan de Bont's 1996 hit Twister blows into theaters July 19th.
I don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are together again in Deadpool and Wolverine. Here's what you need to know. It's a Marvel movie, earned an R rating for strong bloody violence and language throughout, gore and sexual references, and arrives in theaters July 26th. Avoiding the popcorn bucket craze in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Everything looks really good out there.
Twister 2, baby.
Have a good one, y'all.
We'll see you later. We'll see you at noon.